Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. So we're going to continue today with the Pinan Nidan Bunkai requirement for the 9th Q or orange belt level in my dojo. Go back and review so far what we've done. So these in order, if we're counting them in order, would be techniques 5 and 6, which are on the kata, where I've just done 3 punches or 3 high blocks forward, height, I turn my 135 degrees, block punch, 90 degrees, low block and punch. It would be those 2 techniques at this angle. Now, it will also be helpful, again, and I keep repeating, go back and watch the Bunkai videos that I did early on that explain different templates or different philosophies of how kata can or ought to be interpreted. We weren't there, we don't know. So what I'm going to show you today are basically 4, 2, and then 1 with a variation. 4 different techniques. The last one I do is the one that I typically require for my adults. The second one I'm going to do is the one I typically require for the kids, and you'll see why shortly. I've asked my daughter to help me, so I'm going to be gentle and not beat her to death. She always appreciates that because it doesn't always happen. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is use the turning in the technique. I've just done my high blocks, but as I get ready to turn, she's going to punch. I'll clear the punch across. I'm going to elbow, which puts me into this getting ready to do my low block position as my feet come together. I'm hooking here at the carotid plexus, just above her collarbone, right at the point of the neck here. This hand is helping me push and manipulate as I pull her down. Believe me, if you're hitting that point on the neck, they're going to go down. From here, I throw the punch as in the kata. Okay? Once just slightly quicker, but not harder. So I block, elbow as I'm coming in, turn, punch. Earring back, don't forget it's there. So that's one interpretation where literally I'm using the turns as they are, and we do it on either side, the turns as they are in the kata, because back in the Bunkai, as I explained, the turns in the kata mean something, and a lot of times can indicate a throw or getting behind your opponent, and in this case, that technique does both. Okay? The deflecting down and in of the punch, if it was a hooking punch like a street style, I might have to do my bob and weave as I come in, but again, it puts me behind her, ready then to do my low block movement. Okay? The second, which is what I require for my younger kids, is a simple wrist grab. Okay? And we talked about the mixed martial artist who never saw the need for blocks, and he watched one of his guys, they were in the grappling and they're going for this wrist control, and he gets grabbed and the guy went like this. He's like, hey, that's a low block. Exactly. So this is what I use for my kids. It can be this hand, it can be cross hand, it can be either way. Straight across grab or cross, doesn't really matter. From here, depending on whether she pushes or pulls, this is where you've got to think a little. If she's pulling me into a punch, I'm stepping forward. If she's punching, I'm covering, so if she pulls me back and punches, I'm still ready for my low block. I clear and punch, or clear, and if she falls back. If she's pulling really hard here, pull hard. And I do that, now I have to do oizuki, as in the kata, stepping punch. If she's stepping toward me, and I do this, now I do gyakuzuki. So it's still a front stance, as indicated by kata, but as always, the specifics of footwork, stepping forward and through, lunge stepping, whatever, the specifics of the footwork are determined by my opponent, not by me pre-planned. If I step wrong because I had an idea in my head and my opponent doesn't comply, I can get messed up. Okay? So that's the second one. Again, wrist grab, either one, really doesn't matter. Could go any way. I'm either stepping back if she's stepping toward me with a punch, and then she falls right in, or she's pulling me. Now the third and fourth are very similar. If she grabs cross hand, I'm coming in away from where that punch might be as I prepare my low block. Looks like an elbow hidden in there. From here, as I prepare my low block and I hit her, I'm going to come back against her shoulder, which puts pressure at the elbow, hitting hard. So it's 1, 2, From here, I begin my low block, and I'm striking solar plexus or lower. For now, we'll go solar plexus. Then I like to hit the exact same place again when I punch, so I clear that arm and punch right where I just hit. So all together, the thing looks like this. She's going to hit me. I don't let her. I jack her back, smack the solar plexus, clear the arm if it didn't clear itself, and drive with the punch. That's an alternative way of doing it on the inside. This is the actual way that I require it for my ninth cue, which is a straight across grab, and again, she's likely going to be right-handed. I'm not going to wait for the punch. Never wait for the punch. The minute somebody gets on you, it exposes their intention to get on you. You're absolutely positive they're going to hit you. You don't have to wait for anything. Once you know they're going to hit you, or they have laid their hands on you, you don't have to wait for anything. Your self-defense begins now. So the minute she lays hands, whether she plans to throw me, whether she's going to step in and do ippon seranage, whether she's going to punch, I don't care. The minute she lays her hand on me, I'm prepping my low block. But I'm doing it with a forward step. Boom! From here, I come back elbow against her elbow. My low block is a hammer to her kidney. Then if I need to clear the arm, I do. If I don't, it's already there. And then again, I punch the exact same spot in the kidney. So the whole thing all together, this is my adult required. The kid required was a simple wrist scrape. My adult required, boom, strike in, come back, hammer, punch. Now that application emphasizes two things. It's sort of the Shaolin, Kung Fu, Kempo, if you will, overkill method, where every part, it's like what I called in my Bunkai videos, the American Indian and the buffalo. I use every part of the buffalo. This is not a nothing. This is not for nothing. Every part of the buffalo gets used. So it is sometimes a little bit harder to see it that way, because how I move to get to a place is just as important as where I end up. This is not wasted motion. This is not wasted motion. This, every part of the buffalo gets used, okay? Hopefully that gives you some ideas from the throw, from the turn, from the angles, from simple to, if you will, overkill of how to use every movement of a technique for our Seidokan application, or Bunkai of Pinan Nidan. Thanks again, as always, for joining. Hopefully this will give you some ideas. And as always, until next week, keep practicing.